Welcome to Assembly Update. I'm Ted Flint. Joining us today, Assemblyman Michael Novikov, who serves the 45th Assembly District. That's Kings County. Assemblyman Novikov, good to see you.
Always good to see you, Ted. How are you?
Yes, sir. Doing very well. Today is October 9th as we record this program, and you've been very busy this week as you and some of your colleagues are commemorating the 2-year anniversary of the attacks on Israel. 1,200 people were murdered needlessly, savagely, and I know you've been busy. Why don't you tell us about some of the events that you've been taking part in?
Well, first of all, I organized a vigil and a memorial event in my district in Holocaust Memorial Park here in South Brooklyn on Emmons Avenue and West End Avenue. And it was an extremely moving event. We had speakers, we had performers, we sang Israeli anthem translated into English. I always wanted to, to have an understanding of it, to understand the words. It was a beautiful day, and we were able to remember those innocent lives that we lost on October 7th 2 years ago, and as well as demand to free the hostages, because our hostages are still there. And this yellow ribbon pin symbolizes free, let them go. Let my people go, right? Like in that song,
Yeah.
So we demand to let the hostages go, and thankfully, thanks to President Donald Trump, thank you to Prime Minister Netanyahu, we are very, very close to achieve the peace deal, which we all are waiting for. Ted, nobody wants the war. Nobody wants the war, not Israelis, not Palestinians. We all want peace, and we are all waiting for peace. But let me tell you something. It's always so tough to negotiate with the terrorists, because this is not a government. This is a terrorist organization. So we all know that they can say one thing and they then do another thing. So we're cautiously optimistic, I would say, when looking at that peace deal, but definitely it's going to be the greatest news within those 2 years that the war is on, and it's those who are still alive but in a terrible condition, because we all know that Hamas is holding hostages in absolutely terrible conditions, in tunnels, often with their hands tightened in the back, lack of food, lack of sunlight, sometimes torture. It is absolutely terrible. We if you remember, a few months ago, there was a release of a hostage who looked like a Holocaust survivor, which reminded us. And if we want it or not, we will compare this to a new Holocaust, because that hostage who was released by Hamas looked exactly like those Holocaust survivors that we saw on in archive videos and photos from the Nazi times.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I had a Holocaust Survivors Association present at my vigil, at my event. One of them spoke about his experience, and they can't believe, they cannot believe that something like that, something similar, happen again in our time, in our civilized world. But again, when we're dealing with terrorists, some countries are saying that they should have their state. The Palestinians should have their state. Ted, I think that they have to prove that they're good neighbors, and they have to earn having their state, not by killing people, not by killing your neighbors, but by proving that you're a good neighbor that you want to live in peace. And for that, we would need years and years and years, let's say 5, 7, 8 years. They show they're willing to live peacefully. And that will be the time where we can start discussing if they earned a right to have their own state.
They were, Michael, you know this better than I do. They were offered land, the Palestinians, back in 1937.
Oh, yeah.
And they rejected it. They said no. I mean, so it's about more than property or land.
Oh, definitely. And I doubt very much that if they will be allowed to have their own state, that they will stop terrorizing Jewish people. I doubt it very much. I hope so, but I doubt it very much. And you're absolutely right. 2 states had a chance to be created, and Israel created a great state of Israel, which gives this world so much. Just look at all the inventions. At the one of the best medicine in the world is
That's right.
is in Israel. My grandfather went to Israel to treat his cancer, and he's still alive. He's 93 years old, and if not the Israeli doctors, he wouldn't be in this world anymore. Mm-hmm. So Israel gave so much to this world as of technology, and we all know that the the biggest Christian organizations are donating so much money to Israel because they understand that Israel is the only country who could save those Christian values in Jerusalem. Because if the terrorists are coming there, they will destroy everything. They will destroy everything. If you remember, maybe a year ago, the Muslim radicals in Iraq, in Iran or Iraq, I don't remember right now, they destroyed Muslim temples because it wasn't too radical. It wasn't radical enough. Can you imagine that? They destroyed their own temple because it wasn't radical enough, and it was an ancient temple. I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't believe what I'm reading.
Yeah, well, this should give people an idea of who we're up against, the enemies of freedom, and I think Jews and Christians are on the same side in
Absolutely.
this battle.
And by the way, the Christian organizations were also present at my vigil, at my memorial event, and I thank them for that. And even a someone named Muhammad, a Muslim gentleman who was holding Quran and saying from the stage, "This is the part from Quran where it says that Jews have a right to their land called Israel." And he said there are minimum of 8 times that he sees in Quran it says that Israel is the land of Jews.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. October 7th, the date of the attacks obviously is not insignificant. October 7th.
Well, yes, October 7th is unfortunately it is a new Memorial Day. It is a new day when we remember those laws, same as we remember the day of Holocaust.
Right.
It is a new sad, very, very sad date in the world history and the Jewish history, of course.
Now, I read somewhere, I don't know where I read it, but if an attack, a similar attack took place in the United States, 40,000 Americans would have been killed when you compare the size of Israel to America. Just unbelievable.
And Ted, just imagine what would be American reaction. I mean, I don't want to call any of our neighbors, not even, but imagine that one of our neighbors did that to us. What would be our reaction?
That's right.
This is what I was asking, virtually, of course, on my Facebook page, asking those leaders of those countries who left the UN while Prime Minister Netanyahu was speaking. They left the auditorium. And my question to them, what would you do if something similar would happen in your country? with your people, when your girls and women are being raped, when you have 250 hostages, when you have 1,200 people dead, including babies, women, the elderly, what would you do with the country, with the terrorists that done this to your country?
Yeah. What would be your response?
Absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely. And
Now, you
they
mentioned-
don't you know, I don't wish, of course, I would never wish anything like that happen to any country in the world. But I wish that, you know, that leaders of this country, of these countries, would see it in the nightmare, like a nightmare, you know,
Right. Right.
just to realize for a second that something similar happened with their countries.
I want to follow up. You mentioned the hostages, 250. I mean, do you think enough attention is being paid to their plight? Because I don't hear much about the hostages.
Do you mean, Ted? Do you mean those who are already been freed?
No, the ones who are still in captivity.
So there, yeah. So there are 48 hostages in captivity.
Okay.
Approximately 20 out of the, I think 20 or 22. Of course, we don't have the exact data.
Right.
Are alive, but you know, those families who realize that their loved one are not alive anymore, that they've been murdered in captivity, they want their bodies, and they want their bodies same as those families who want their you know, their loved ones alive, and they have a right to have the bodies of the, you know, how cruel you have to be to hold the bodies
Right.
of the hostages that are been already murdered, already dead.
Yeah. The families want closure.
Yeah.
They want closure. Do we have anything to follow up on? Did you get everything in that you wanted to get? We're just about out of time here.
I think, yeah, I think we did. And if any of our viewers are celebrating Sukkot, the great holiday of Sukkot, there was a series of Jewish holidays, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, where, you know, we apologize, we say, I'm sorry. So, Ted, I'm sorry if I did anything wrong during our recordings, you know, our broadcasts. And of course, I'm sorry to my constituents if you know, we missed something, if we didn't help someone, or this is not because we don't want to. This is because we're so overwhelmed with the number of calls, the number of you know, constituent services, and we unfortunately we do not have enough staff to help everyone. We're trying to do our best, and thank you so much to our volunteers who are doing an amazing job helping the constituents. So I'm sorry, and there's another great holiday, Sukkot, Hag Sameach, to all who celebrate Sukkot. So it's a series of Jewish holidays, and we're all waiting for the hostages to be freed, for the peace to be present. And again, I would like to thank President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu for the peace negotiations. We're all quietly waiting on the great news. Maybe Sunday, maybe Monday. We'll see.
Well, from your lips to God's ears. Let's pray that it happens. We know you're working hard for the people, Assemblyman. If you want to contact Michael Novikov, his number right there in Brooklyn, 718-743-4078. Assemblyman Novikov, always a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you so much, Ted. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Assembly Update. I'm Ted Flint.